WTC Weather Lab. Here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back. Well, it looks like we're getting a little bit closer to more typical summer-like weather with the threat of afternoon showers and storms, but temperatures getting a little bit higher and rain chances a little bit lower as compared to the last several days for sure. So let's go outside and take a look at what Justin Terro captured for us. A beautiful day out there earlier, a mixture of clouds and sun, not much vertical growth on those cumulus clouds, but that changed late this afternoon. We've seen a couple of pop-up showers and thunder showers, but most of the activity not too terribly bad, and it's been about a 30-40% type of day across the area. So let's kick it upstairs, look at the satellite imagery, and you really don't cull a whole lot other than high pressure sitting off to the east of us. Not a whole lot of big storms in the area, and the water vapor imagery indicating somewhat drier air in the region, courtesy of this upper level low that's bringing down some drier air from the east. We have this flow, this clockwise flow around the ridge of high pressure, keeping the north winds aloft. That's that thunderstorm complex that gave us all the trouble yesterday morning way down here by South Texas, and by and large that's the way it's going to go for a while. And the question is, do we stay in this dry slot or not? And we're going to go, yeah, kind of over the next couple of days, so keeping rain chances closer to 20% for tomorrow and also for Friday. Now we do have a scattering of storms across the area late this afternoon after some busy activity coastal parishes as expected earlier today, and activity pretty much scattered in nature. You can see just a few isolated cells showing up in upper St. Martin Parish north of Henderson, another one south of Henderson, west of Catahoula, going into about the Parks area, we think. And then we have a cell over downtown Lafayette through the south side of town. Here's Johnston Street, so a pretty heavy downpour at Johnston. Here's Ambassador Caffrey, so heavy downpour here, and a few other heavy downpours over toward Rain as well, and a few other spotty cells showing up south of Lake Arthur and Gaydon, mostly heading into the coastal marsh late this afternoon. Activity should dissipate. Here's the latest HRRRRRR model run here, or also known as the high resolution rapid refresh model. I never know what to call this model, but it does a great job. Quiets down overnight tonight, and then as we head into tomorrow, we'll go with mostly sunny skies to start the day, and then there's going to be a scattering of showers in the afternoon. But notice, not much activity going on, so we'll go 20% on your rain chances for tomorrow. Maybe a lingering cell into the evening hours, then it quiets down once again for tomorrow night, and we'll do it again on Friday. As for the tropics, two areas of disturbed weather, one by the Caribbean, another one heading toward the Caribbean. This one has potential for development. National Hurricane Center now up to a 60% chance of development over the next 5 days. We think this is going to be called 96L. I'm tracking it as 96L. Will likely become that. Going to have to watch this for the Northeast Caribbean. Could become a named system down the line. European not sold on a big system. The GFS thinks it might become a hurricane at some point, mainly east of the U.S. Meanwhile, this other disturbance just going to bring rain to the Bahamas, portions of Florida, the coastal Carolinas, but not a concern. No concern to the Gulf of Mexico for sure. Tropical storm Flossie out here was a hurricane, down to a tropical storm. Will be back up to a hurricane. May threaten Hawaii in about 6 to 7 days, and then we have major Hurricane Eric, but Eric is beginning to weaken. 115-mile-an-hour winds with this storm system. It should go just south of the Hawaiian Islands, so tropical storm warnings have been posted for the coastal waters of the Big Island, and we'll watch this one. It's going to be pretty close, and there's going to be some big waves coming as well. In the last couple of frames, notice this has been moving a little bit more north of due west, so Hawaii is going to keep an eye on both of those systems. Meanwhile, as we look at the European model, we track that one disturbance by Florida, heavy rain there, but it gets strung out and gets caught up with a frontal boundary. Then we'll be watching this one. Shows up nicely as a ball right here, right by the northeastern Caribbean, so maybe a depression, perhaps a tropical storm, and we think this one's going to curve out in the Atlantic as well. The current upper levels pattern over the U.S. supports that, but they're never really, we don't really stop worrying about them until they make that turn. And other things that we can call, we're starting to see more robust tropical waves, another tropical wave approaching the Caribbean, but overall, Gulf of Mexico looks pretty quiet over the next week to 10 days. So for tonight, an early evening shower possible. Otherwise, it's going to be a quiet night overnight tonight. Temperatures a little bit below normal. The normal being 75, will be at 72, so that's not too bad. Anytime you can get below those norms. That's good. And the same for tomorrow. Normal high this time of year, 93 degrees. In fact, 75 and 93 are the normals now through August 23rd. So these are truly the dog days of summer. Partly sunny skies, a little bit hotter, but still below that normal. 90 the high tomorrow with that rain chance, 20%. 20% also for Friday, 20 to 30% this weekend. Can't go much higher than that right now, although those numbers could change in a hurry depending on how the upper level pattern changes. But overall, typical summer forecast. And remember just a week ago we were talking about that 10-day forecast that had lots of 80s for highs. Well, this one has a lot more 90s for highs.
Payback.
Yeah, it's time though.
All right. Thanks, Rob.